Welcome back to Did You Know? Today we have something truly special for you. 300 mind-blowing, weird, and fascinating facts that you probably never heard before. From science and history to the mysteries of the universe, get ready to expand your knowledge and be amazed. Some of these facts will make you smile, others might shock you, but one thing is certain. You'll walk away knowing something new. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into 300 incredible facts you won't believe are true. 1. A cockroach can live for weeks without its head. It only dies because it eventually dehydrates, as it can't drink water. 2. Water can boil and freeze at the same time. This rare phenomenon is called the triple point and occurs when temperature and pressure are just right. 3. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. Sloths can slow their heart rate and hold their breath for up to 40 minutes, while dolphins typically surface every 10 to 15 minutes. 4. Scotland has over 400 words for snow. Some of them include sneezel, to begin raining or snowing, feefle, swirling snow, and flindrican, a slight snow shower. 5. There is an island within a lake, on an island, in a lake, on an island. This geographical oddity exists in Canada's Victoria Island. 6. The M's in M&M stand for Mars and Murray. They were the businessmen who created the famous chocolate candies. 7. You can't burp in space. Without gravity to separate liquids and gases in your stomach, burping would bring up food along with the gas. 8. There's a hotel in Japan that has been operating for over 1,300 years. The Nishiyama Onsen Keiyunkan has been run by the same family for over 52 generations. 9. Butterflies can taste with their feet. Their taste sensors are located on their feet, allowing them to land on plants and immediately know if they are good for laying eggs. 10. There's a lake in Australia that is naturally pink. Lake Hillier gets its bright pink color from algae and bacteria that thrive in its salty waters. 11. A day on Mars is only about 40 minutes longer than a day on Earth. A Martian day, known as a sol, lasts approximately 24 hours and 37 minutes. 12. Pineapples take about 2 years to grow. Despite their spiky and tropical appearance, pineapples grow slowly, requiring patience to cultivate. 13. An octopus can squeeze through anything larger than its beak. Since they have no bones, they can fit through incredibly small spaces. 14. The human body contains around 37.2 trillion cells. Every second, millions of these cells die and are replaced. 15. Some turtles can breathe through their butts. Species like the Australian Fitzroy river turtle use cloacal respiration to extract oxygen from the water. 16. There's a species of fungus that turns ants into zombies. Ophiocordyceps. Unilateralis takes over the body of an ant and controls its behavior before killing it. 17. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system, not Mercury. Despite being farther from the Sun, Venus has a thick atmosphere that traps heat, making it even hotter than Mercury. 18. Cats can't taste sweetness. Unlike humans, cats lack the taste receptors for sugary flavors. 19. Jellyfish have survived 5 mass extinctions. These simple, brainless creatures have been around for over 500 million years. 20. The world's quietest room can drive you crazy. The anechoic chamber at Orfield Laboratories in Minnesota absorbs 99.99% of sound, making even your own heartbeat unbearably loud. 21. A shrimp's heart is located in its head. Specifically, it is near its brain, inside its head region, which is part of its thorax. 22. The human nose can detect over 1 trillion different scents. Scientists once believed it was only about 10,000, but new research suggests our olfactory system is far more powerful. 23. There's a species of fish that can walk on land. The mudskipper uses its fins to move across mud and even climb trees in mangrove forests. 24. The Empire State Building has its own zip code. The famous New York City landmark is so big that it has been assigned the zip code 10118. 25. A bolt of lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Lightning can reach temperatures of about 30,000 kelvins, 53,540 degrees Fahrenheit, while the sun's surface is around 6,000 kelvins, 10,340 degrees Fahrenheit. 26. An astronaut's height increases in space. Without Earth's gravity compressing the spine, astronauts can grow up to 2 inches, 5 centimeters taller while in orbit. 27. The shortest war in history lasted only 38 to 45 minutes. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896 was fought between the British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar. 28. Wolves use their eyes to communicate. A direct stare can be a sign of dominance, while looking away signals submission. 29. The Guinness World Record for longest hiccups lasted 68 years. Charles Osborne started hiccuping in 1922 and didn't stop until 1990, totaling around 430 million hiccups. 30. There's a floating post office in India. Dal Lake in Kashmir has a unique post office that sits on a houseboat and serves locals and tourists alike. 31. Octopuses can change color in just milliseconds. Their skin contains special pigment cells called chromatophores, allowing them to blend instantly with their surroundings. 32. Hot water freezes faster than cold water. This counterintuitive phenomenon is called the Mpemba effect, and scientists are still trying to fully understand why it happens. 33. The Great Wall of China is not visible from space with the naked eye. This is a common myth. Astronauts have confirmed that the wall is difficult to see without zooming in. 34. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. Their bright pink feathers and graceful movements make this name quite fitting. 35. The shortest commercial flight in the world lasts just 57 seconds. It operates between the Scottish islands of Westray and Papa Westray, covering about 2.7 kilometers, 1.7 miles. 36. A blue whale's heart is the size of a small car. It can weigh around 180 kilograms, 400 pounds, and beat so powerfully that it can be heard from 3 kilometers, 2 miles away. 37. Coca-Cola would be green if no coloring was added. The original formula of Coca-Cola is naturally greenish before caramel color is added. 38. There's a fish that can survive being frozen solid. The Antarctic ice fish produces antifreeze proteins that prevent ice crystals from forming in its blood. 39. A single teaspoon of honey is the life's work of 12 bees. Bees work tirelessly to produce honey, making it one of the most precious natural sweeteners. 40. A strawberry isn't actually a berry, but a watermelon is. Botanically, berries must have seeds and pulp inside a single ovary, making watermelons and bananas true berries, while strawberries don't qualify. 41. The human brain generates enough electricity to power a small light bulb. On average, the brain produces about 25 watts of electricity. 42. A day on Earth is getting longer. Due to the moon's gravitational pull, Earth's rotation is slowing down by about 1.7 milliseconds per century. 43. The inventor of the frisbee was turned into a frisbee after he died. Ed Hedrick, the creator of the modern frisbee, had his ashes molded into limited edition discs after his passing. 44. There's a species of fungus that glows in the dark. The Mycena chlorophyllus mushroom emits a soft greenish glow in the night. 45. The longest time between twins being born is 87 days. In 2012, an Irish woman gave birth to one twin prematurely, while the other stayed in the womb for nearly 3 more months. 46. A crocodile can't stick its tongue out. Unlike most reptiles, their tongues are held in place by a membrane to prevent water from getting into their throats while swimming. 47. There is a lake under the ocean. The Jacuzzi of Despair in the Gulf of Mexico is a highly salty underwater lake that kills most creatures that enter it. 48. The national animal of Scotland is a unicorn. Despite being mythical, the unicorn has been a symbol of Scotland for centuries. 49. Butterflies remember being caterpillars. Studies show that butterflies retain memories from their larval stage, even after undergoing metamorphosis. 50. Humans share about 60% of their DNA with bananas. While we are obviously not closely related, many fundamental genetic sequences are shared across different life forms. 51. The speed of a sneeze can exceed 160 kilometers per h, 100 miles per hour. That's why covering your mouth is essential to prevent spreading germs. 52. Sharks have been around longer than dinosaurs. They have existed for over 400 million years, while dinosaurs appeared around 230 million years ago. 53. There's a species of sea slug that can photosynthesize like a plant. Elysia chlorotica absorbs chloroplasts from algae and can produce energy from sunlight. 54. The word alphabet comes from the first two Greek letters. Alpha and beta combined form alphabet. 55. The Eiffel Tower can sway up to 15 centimeters, 6 inches, in strong wind. It was designed to flex slightly for stability. 56. A snail can sleep for up to 3 years. When facing harsh conditions, some snails enter a hibernation-like state called estivation. 57. The fingerprints of a koala are almost indistinguishable from a human's. Even under a microscope, they are strikingly similar. 58. You can hear a blue whale's heartbeat from over 3 kilometers, 2 miles away. Their massive hearts beat so powerfully that the sound travels long distances underwater. 59. The moon is slowly drifting away from Earth. It moves about 3.8 centimeters, 1.5 inches, farther every year due to gravitational interactions. 60. Humans glow in the dark, but it's too faint to see. Our bodies emit a weak bioluminescence, which is detectable with ultra-sensitive cameras. 61. A jiffy is an actual unit of time. In physics, a jiffy refers to the time it takes for light to travel 1 centimeter in a vacuum, which is about 33.3564 picoseconds. 62. There's a type of jellyfish that doesn't have a brain, heart, or bones. The box jellyfish relies on a decentralized nerve net to sense its environment. 63. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon landing than to the construction of the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid was built around 2560 BCE, while Cleopatra lived around 30 BCE. 64. The smell of freshly cut grass is actually a plant distress signal. The scent is caused by chemicals released when grass is damaged. 65. An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain. This helps them detect predators from far away, but they aren't the smartest birds. 66. The shortest sentence in English is I am. It consists of a subject and a verb, making it grammatically complete. 67. Some frogs can freeze solid and survive. Wood frogs in North America can endure winter by freezing and thawing without damage. 68. There's a cloud in space that contains enough alcohol to make 400 trillion pints of beer. The Sagittarius. B2 cloud is a massive molecular gas cloud near the center of our galaxy. 69. Rats laugh when they're tickled. They emit high-frequency giggling sounds when playing or being tickled. 70. You swallow about a liter of saliva every day. Your salivary glands produce around 0.5 to 1.5 liters of saliva daily to aid digestion. 71. A day on Uranus lasts 17 hours, but its seasons last 42 years. Because Uranus is tilted on its side, each pole experiences 42 years of continuous sunlight, followed by 42 years of darkness. 72. There's a fish that can see in 2 directions at once. The four-eyed fish, Anableps, has eyes split into 2 sections, allowing it to see both above and below the water at the same time. 73. Humans have more bacterial cells than human cells. The human body contains around 39 trillion bacterial cells compared to 30 trillion human cells. 74. There's a town in Norway where the sun doesn't rise for 2 months. In Tromsø, the polar night lasts from late November to mid-January due to its location above the Arctic Circle. 75. A group of porcupines is called a prickle, a fitting name for these spiky creatures. 76. The smell of chocolate increases brain waves that trigger relaxation. Studies show that simply smelling chocolate can help reduce stress and anxiety. 77. There's a lake in Africa that can explode. Lake Nyos in Cameroon has a deep reservoir of carbon dioxide that can be released in a deadly explosion, suffocating everything in its path. 78. A flea can jump 350 times its body length. If humans had the same ability, we could jump the length of a football field in one leap. 79. Saturn's moon. Titan has lakes of liquid methane. Unlike Earth, where lakes are filled with water, Titan's low temperatures allow methane to exist in liquid form. 80. Some turtles can live for over 150 years. The Aldabra giant tortoise, one of the longest living reptiles, can easily surpass a century in age. 81. A bolt of lightning contains enough energy to toast 100,000 slices of bread. The average lightning bolt carries about 1 billion joules of energy. 82. There's a jellyfish that can regenerate its entire body. The Turritopsis dohrnii is often called the immortal jellyfish because it can revert to its juvenile state and start life over again. 83. Your bones are about 5 times stronger than steel. Pound for pound, bone is stronger than steel, but it's also much lighter. 84. There's a door to hell that has been burning for over 50 years. The Darvaza gas crater in Turkmenistan has been on fire since 1971 after a drilling accident. 85. Your stomach gets a new lining every few days. The cells in your stomach lining regenerate every 5 days to prevent it from digesting itself. 86. Birds don't urinate. Instead, they excrete nitrogenous waste as a solid substance called uric acid, which is the white part of bird droppings. 87. There's an island in Japan inhabited only by rabbits. Okunoshima, also known as Rabbit Island, is home to hundreds of friendly, free-roaming bunnies. 88. A single cloud can weigh over 1 million pounds. Clouds look fluffy, but the water they contain makes them incredibly heavy. 89. The world's largest living organism is a fungus. A giant Armillaria fungus in Oregon covers 3.8 square kilometers, 2.4 miles too, and is estimated to be over 2,400 years old. 90. The inventor of the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell, refused to have one in his office. He saw the telephone as an invasion of privacy and preferred written communication. 91. The moon has moonquakes. Just like Earth has earthquakes, the moon experiences quakes due to tidal forces exerted by Earth's gravity. 92. There's a cave in Mexico filled with giant crystals. The Cave of Crystals, Cueva de los Cristales, contains some of the largest natural crystals ever discovered, some over 12 meters, 39 feet long. 93. A day on Neptune is only 16 hours long. Despite being one of the farthest planets from the Sun, Neptune has one of the shortest days in the solar system. 94. The human body glows, but our eyes can't see it. Bioluminescence occurs naturally in our bodies, but it's about 1,000 times weaker than what the human eye can detect. 95. There's a species of fish that can walk on land for days. The climbing perch can move across land using its fins and even breathe air. 96. The Sahara Desert was once a lush green landscape. About 6,000 years ago, it had lakes, rivers, and abundant vegetation, before climate changes turned it into a desert. 97. Vultures can digest anthrax and other deadly bacteria. Their stomach acid is so strong that it neutralizes toxic pathogens found in decaying meat. 98. There's an underwater waterfall off the coast of Mauritius. It's an optical illusion caused by sand and silt being pulled over the edge of an underwater plateau. 99. The smell of rain has a name. It's called petrichor and is caused by oils released by soil bacteria when rain hits the ground. 100. The deepest part of the ocean is over 36,000 feet deep, the Mariana Trench's Challenger. Deep is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. 101. Some metals explode when they touch water. Alkali metals like sodium and potassium react violently with water, sometimes even causing explosions. 102. There's a volcano that continuously erupts blue flames. The Kawah Ijen volcano in Indonesia emits bright blue flames due to burning sulfuric gases. 103. Sea cucumbers can eject their internal organs as a defense mechanism. When threatened, they expel their guts to distract predators and later regenerate them. 104. The human brain has more connections than the Milky Way has stars. With around 100 trillion neural connections, the brain's complexity is mind-blowing. 105. Mount Everest grows taller every year. Due to the movement of tectonic plates, Everest rises by about 4 millimeters annually. 106. A lobster's brain is in its throat, and its heart is in its head. Lobsters have a very different internal anatomy compared to most animals. 107. You can fit all the planets of the solar system between Earth and the Moon. The average distance between Earth and the Moon is about 384,400 kilometers, which is enough to line up all the planets side by side. 108. Your liver can regenerate even if 75% of it is removed. The human liver is one of the only organs with this incredible ability. 109. Some frogs can survive being completely frozen. Wood frogs in Alaska can freeze solid in the winter and thaw out in the spring without any damage. 110. There's a species of ant that practices farming. Leafcutter ants grow their own fungus for food by cutting leaves and feeding them to fungal colonies. 111. The heart of a blue whale is so big that a human could swim through its arteries. It weighs around 180 kilograms, 400 pounds, and beats only a few times per minute. 112. The Eiffel Tower can shrink in cold weather. In winter, it can contract by about 15 centimeters, 6 inches, due to the metal reacting to temperature changes. 113. Octopuses have 9 brains, 1 central brain and 8 smaller ones in each of their arms, allowing independent movement. 114. There's a type of lizard that can squirt blood from its eyes. The Texas horned lizard uses this defense mechanism to startle predators. 115. Bananas naturally contain radiation. They have potassium-40, a radioactive isotope, but the levels are harmless to humans. 116. A jellyfish's body is 98% water. When washed ashore, it can almost completely evaporate. 117. Water can boil and freeze at the same time. This happens under specific conditions known as the triple point, where temperature and pressure allow all 3 states of matter to exist simultaneously. 118. There is a lake that disappears and reappears each year. Oregon's Lost Lake drains through lava tubes every summer and refills in the winter. 119. The fingerprints of chimpanzees and gorillas are nearly identical to humans. Even under a microscope, they're difficult to distinguish. 120. There's a place on Earth where gravity is weaker. The Hudson Bay region in Canada has lower gravity than surrounding areas due to ice sheet effects from the Ice Age. 121. A cockroach can live for weeks without its head. It only dies because it eventually dehydrates, as it can't drink water. 122. There's an island in the Bahamas where only swimming pigs live. Big Major Cay, also known as Pig Beach, is home to a population of wild pigs that love to swim. 123. Cows have best friends and get stressed when separated. Studies show that cows form strong social bonds and can experience anxiety when away from their favorite companion. 124. A day on Mercury lasts longer than a year on Mercury. It takes Mercury 59 Earth days to rotate once, but only 88 Earth days to orbit the Sun. 125. There's a species of fish that can survive without water for months. The African lungfish buries itself in mud and secretes mucus to survive dry seasons. 126. The human stomach gets a new lining every 3-5 days. This prevents the stomach from digesting itself with its own acid. 127. There's a river in Peru that boils. The Shanay-Timpishka River reaches temperatures hot enough to kill animals that fall into it. 128. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. They can slow their heart rate and hold their breath for up to 40 minutes. 129. Ants never sleep. While they do rest in cycles, ants don't experience deep sleep like humans. 130. A group of owls is called a parliament. This term is used because owls are often associated with wisdom. 131. There's a jellyfish that can clone itself. If the moon jellyfish is injured, it can revert to its polyp stage and grow into a new jellyfish. 132. The speed of brain signals is faster than a Formula One car. Nerve impulses travel at about 400 kilometers per h, 250 miles per hour, faster than an F1 race car. 133. There's a waterfall that flows upward. In certain conditions, strong winds can make waterfalls like the one in England's Derbyshire appear to flow in reverse. 134. A panda's diet is 99% bamboo, but they still have a carnivore's digestive system. Despite their herbivorous diet, pandas have a gut designed for digesting meat. 135. Wombat poop is cube-shaped. This unique shape prevents the poop from rolling away, helping wombats mark their territory. 136. There's a glacier in Antarctica that is blood red. Blood Falls gets its eerie color from iron-rich salty water that oxidizes when exposed to air. 137. Bees can recognize human faces. They use a process called configural processing, similar to how we recognize people. 138. There's a lake in Canada that disappears every summer. Spotted Lake in British Columbia evaporates in the heat, leaving behind colorful mineral deposits. 139. The world's largest volcano is underwater. Mauna Loa in Hawaii is the biggest on land, but Tamu Massif, found beneath the Pacific Ocean, is even larger. 140. The human nose can detect over 1 trillion different scents. Recent research suggests our sense of smell is far more powerful than previously thought. 141. The Earth's core is as hot as the surface of the Sun. The inner core reaches temperatures of about 5,500 degrees Celsius, 9,932 degrees Fahrenheit, similar to the Sun's outer layer. 142. The shortest war in history lasted only 38 to 45 minutes. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896 holds the record for the briefest military conflict. 143. A mantis shrimp can punch as fast as a bullet. Their club-like appendages strike with the force of a .22 caliber bullet, capable of breaking glass. 144. Jellyfish have survived 5 mass extinctions. They have been around for over 500 million years, outlasting dinosaurs and many other species. 145. There is a place in the Pacific Ocean where no human lives within 2,688 kilometers, 1,670 miles. Point Nemo, the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, is the most remote place on Earth. 146. Tigers have striped skin, not just striped fur. Even if you shave a tiger, its skin still has the same stripe pattern. 147. Hummingbirds are the only birds that can fly backward. Their unique wing structure allows them to hover and move in any direction. 148. The average person walks the equivalent of 5 times around the world in a lifetime. That's about 160,000 kilometers, 100,000 miles, over an average lifespan. 149. Watermelons were originally bitter and had much less red flesh. Ancient watermelons looked very different from today's sweet, juicy varieties. 150. There's a species of fungus that can take over an ant's brain and control its movements. Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, also called the zombie ant fungus, manipulates ants before killing them. 151. Octopuses have blue blood. Their blood contains hemocyanin, which binds oxygen with copper instead of iron, giving it a blue color. 152. There's a spot in the Pacific Ocean where NASA dumps decommissioned spacecraft, known as Point Nemo. It's the most remote ocean location and serves as a spacecraft cemetery. 153. Some turtles can breathe through their butts. Species like the Fitzroy River turtle use cloacal respiration to extract oxygen from water. 154. The human body contains about 37.2 trillion cells. Each second, millions of cells die and are replaced. 155. The longest hiccup spree lasted 68 years. Charles Osborne started hiccuping in 1922 and didn't stop until 1990, totaling around 430 million hiccups. 156. There's a cloud in space that smells like rum and tastes like raspberries. Sagittarius. B2 contains ethyl formate, the compound responsible for those flavors. 157. A chameleon's tongue can move faster than a fighter jet. It accelerates at 41 g-forces, much faster than the speed of sound. 158. Sloths can take up to a month to digest a single meal. Their metabolism is so slow that food can take weeks to pass through their system. 159. The Statue of Liberty was originally supposed to be a lighthouse. It was intended to function as a navigational aid but was too dim to be effective. 160. Lightning can strike the same place twice and often does. The Empire State Building, for example, is struck by lightning about 20-25 times a year. 161. Butterflies can taste with their feet. Their taste sensors are located on their legs, allowing them to land on a plant and immediately know if it's suitable for laying eggs. 162. Venus is the only planet in the solar system that rotates clockwise. All other planets rotate counterclockwise, but Venus spins in the opposite direction. 163. A group of crows is called a murder. This term dates back to folklore that associated crows with death and omens. 164. The first alarm clock could only ring at 4 a.m. Invented by Levi Hutchins in 1787, it was designed to wake him up for work, and he never patented it. 165. There's a lake in Tanzania that turns animals into stone. Lake Natron has a highly alkaline pH, which can preserve dead animals in a calcified state. 166. Elephants can hear with their feet. They can pick up low-frequency sounds and vibrations from miles away using their sensitive foot pads. 167. There's a hotel in Sweden made entirely of ice. The ice hotel in Jukkasjärvi is rebuilt every winter and melts in the spring. 168. A flea can jump 350 times its body length. If humans had the same ability, we could jump the length of a football field. 169. Sharks predate trees. Sharks have existed for over 400 million years, while the first trees appeared about 350 million years ago. 170. There's an official time zone with a 15-minute offset. Nepal Standard Time is UTC plus 5, 45 making it one of the few time zones with a non-hourly difference. 171. Bananas glow blue under UV light. As they ripen, their chlorophyll breaks down, causing them to fluoresce under ultraviolet light. 172. Some frogs can see infrared and ultraviolet light. Their unique vision helps them detect prey and predators in low light conditions. 173. The world's largest desert isn't the Sahara, it's Antarctica. The Antarctic desert covers about 14 million square kilometers, making it the driest and largest desert on Earth. 174. Giraffes have the same number of neck vertebrae as humans. Both species have 7 cervical vertebrae, but giraffes are much larger. 175. You can't burp in space. Without gravity to separate gases and liquids in your stomach, burping in microgravity would cause regurgitation. 176. The longest wedding veil was longer than 63 football fields. A bride in Cyprus wore a veil measuring 6,962.6 meters, 22,843 feet, in 2018. 177. There's a town in the US where it's illegal to die. In Longyearbyen, Norway, not the US, the extreme cold prevents bodies from decomposing, so burials are discouraged. 178. The average cloud weighs over 1 million pounds. Clouds may look light and fluffy, but they contain massive amounts of water droplets. 179. Humans share about 60% of their DNA with fruit flies. Despite vast differences, we share many genetic similarities with simple organisms. 180. There's a fish that can survive being frozen solid. The Antarctic ice fish produces antifreeze proteins that prevent ice crystals from forming in its blood. 181. Ravens can mimic human speech. Like parrots, ravens are highly intelligent birds that can learn and imitate words. 182. The Great Wall of China isn't a single wall. It's actually a series of walls and fortifications built by different dynasties over centuries. 183. Sea otters hold hands while sleeping. This prevents them from drifting apart in the water while they rest. 184. The human eye can distinguish around 10 million colors. The brain processes color information so efficiently that we rarely notice its complexity. 185. There's a mountain taller than Everest, but it's underwater. Mauna Kea in Hawaii is over 10,200 meters, 33,500 feet, from base to peak, making it the tallest mountain if measured from its base on the ocean floor. 186. Fire needs gravity to burn properly. In space, flames burn in a spherical shape because heat doesn't rise without gravity. 187. A shrimp's heart is in its head. Its heart is located near its brain, inside the thorax, which is protected by the exoskeleton. 188. Orcas are the only known predators of great white sharks. They can attack and kill great whites by flipping them upside down, inducing paralysis. 189. There's a species of ant that explodes when threatened. Colobopsis explodants sacrifice themselves by bursting and releasing a sticky, toxic substance to defend their colony. 190. The fingerprints of koalas are almost identical to humans. Even under a microscope, they are difficult to tell apart from human fingerprints. 191. A day on Pluto is longer than a month on Earth. One full rotation of Pluto takes about 153 hours, which is over 6 Earth days. 192. Your tongue print is as unique as your fingerprint. No two people have the same tongue pattern. 193. There's a plant that can resurrect itself after extreme dehydration. The rose of Jericho can survive being completely dried out and revive when exposed to water. 194. A jellyfish's mouth is also its anus. They use the same opening to consume food and expel waste. 195. Sharks can sense electricity in the water. Their electroreceptors, called ampullae of Lorenzini, allow them to detect the electrical signals of prey. 196. Mount Everest has Wi-Fi. There are internet service providers that offer Wi-Fi even at high altitudes on the mountain. 197. There's a town in Spain that holds a tomato-throwing festival. La Tomatina in Bunol is an annual event where thousands of people throw tomatoes at each other. 198. A starfish can regenerate an entire body from just one arm. If a single arm is attached to part of its central disc, it can regrow into a whole new starfish. 199. Some cats are allergic to humans. While humans are often allergic to cat dander, some cats can have reactions to human skin cells or perfumes. 200. The Amazon rainforest produces about 20% of the world's oxygen. It's often called the lungs of the earth due to its massive oxygen output. 201. There's a species of lizard that can reproduce without males. The New Mexico whiptail lizard is an all-female species that reproduces through a process called parthenogenesis. 202. Humans glow more at night. Our natural bioluminescence is weakest in the morning and strongest in the evening, but it's too faint to see with the naked eye. 203. A single teaspoon of honey represents the lifetime work of 12 bees. Bees work incredibly hard to produce even a small amount of honey. 204. There's an island in Japan overrun by cats. Aoshima, also called Cat Island, has far more cats than human residents. 205. Blood makes up about 8% of your body weight. The average adult has roughly 5 liters, 1.3 gallons of blood in their body. 206. Some spiders can fly using electricity. They release silk threads that interact with the Earth's electric field, allowing them to balloon through the air. 207. The first recorded use of OMG was in 1917. A British admiral used it in a letter to Winston Churchill. 208. An octopus can taste with its arms. Their suction cups contain chemical receptors that allow them to taste whatever they touch. 209. The human nose can detect fear. Studies suggest we can subconsciously pick up on chemical signals from sweat that indicate fear or stress. 210. The world's largest snowflake was 38 centimeters, 15 inches wide. It was recorded in Montana, USA in 1887. 211. You are taller in the morning than at night. Gravity compresses your spine throughout the day, making you slightly shorter by bedtime. 212. Cows can walk upstairs but not downstairs. Their knee joints don't bend the right way for descending stairs easily. 213. There's a tree that bleeds red sap. The dragon's blood tree, Dracaena cinnabari, produces a deep red resin when cut. 214. The word quiz was invented as a bet. In the 18th century, a Dublin theater owner made up the word and spread it around the city overnight. 215. Bees can recognize human faces. They use a process similar to human facial recognition to distinguish between different people. 216. Some turtles can live without food for months. Their slow metabolism allows them to survive long periods without eating. 217. There's a hotel room under the sea. The Jules Undersea Lodge in Florida is a fully functional underwater hotel. 218. An octopus has more neurons in its arms than in its brain. This allows each arm to operate semi-independently. 219. The human body has about 200 different types of cells. Each type has a specific function that helps the body operate. 220. There's a species of wasp that turns cockroaches into zombies. The jewel wasp injects venom into a cockroach's brain, controlling its movements. 221. The world's quietest room is so silent, you can hear your own heartbeat. The anechoic chamber at Orfield Laboratories in Minnesota absorbs 99.99% of sound. 222. There's a mushroom that can create its own wind. The shaggy ink cap releases water vapor to generate airflow, helping its spores spread. 223. Penguins propose with a pebble. Male Adelie penguins search for the perfect pebble to present to their potential mate. 224. Some planets rain metal or glass. Exoplanets like HD 189733b experience extreme weather where molten glass rains sideways due to high winds. 225. There's a river in Canada that disappears and reappears each year. The Nahanni River in the Northwest Territories vanishes underground before surfacing again. 226. Sharks existed before trees. Sharks have been around for over 400 million years, while trees evolved around 350 million years ago. 227. A mosquito has 47 teeth. Although tiny, mosquitoes have serrated mouthparts that help them pierce the skin. 228. There's a species of plant that can explode. The sandbox tree, also known as the dynamite tree, ejects its seeds at speeds of up to 240 kilometers per h, 150 miles per hour. 229. Some jellyfish are immortal. The Turritopsis dohrnii can revert to its juvenile state repeatedly, effectively avoiding death. 230. A bolt of lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Lightning can reach temperatures of 30,000 degrees Celsius, 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, while the sun's surface is about 6,000 degrees Celsius, 11,000 degrees Fahrenheit. 231. Gold can be found in human blood. There are trace amounts of gold in the human body, mostly in the blood, but not enough to extract. 232. Some animals can sense earthquakes before they happen. dogs, elephants, and even some fish can detect seismic activity before humans do. 233. A chameleon's tongue is twice as long as its body. It can shoot out at incredible speeds to catch prey. 234. There's a lake in Australia that stays pink all year round. Lake Hillier gets its pink color from a unique type of algae and high salt levels. 235. Your brain generates enough electricity to power a light bulb. The human brain produces around 20 watts of electrical power. 236. Ants have a social stomach. They have a special second stomach called a crop that stores food to share with colony members. 237. The Sahara Desert was once a lush, green landscape. About 6,000, 7,000 years ago, it had lakes, forests, and wildlife before climate shifts turned it into a desert. 238. The world's largest living organism is a fungus. Armillaria ostoyi in Oregon covers over 3.8 square kilometers, 2.4 miles too, and is over 2,400 years old. 239. There's a river that flows backward. The Chicago River was reversed in the early 1900s through engineering to protect the city's water supply. 240. The moon is slowly drifting away from Earth. It moves about 3.8 centimeters, 1.5 inches, farther every year due to gravitational interactions. 241. There's a species of fish that can walk on land. The mudskipper can use its pectoral fins to move on land and even climb trees. 242. Wombat poop is cube-shaped. This helps it stay in place and prevents it from rolling away, which is useful for marking territory. 243. The human eye blinks about 4.2 million times a year. On average, we blink around 15-20 times per minute. 244. A cockroach can live for weeks without its head. It eventually dies from dehydration since it can't drink water. 245. Some turtles can breathe through their butts. Certain species, like the Fitzroy river turtle, use cloacal respiration to extract oxygen from water. 246. There's a type of rain that smells before it falls. Petrichor, the earthy scent after rain, is caused by bacteria releasing compounds into the air before rain starts. 247. The world's largest volcano is underwater. Tamu Massif in the Pacific Ocean is the biggest known volcano by volume. 248. Some frogs can survive being completely frozen. The wood frog in North America can be frozen solid and then thaw out alive. 249. Butterflies can taste with their feet. Their taste sensors are located on their legs, allowing them to detect if a plant is good for laying eggs. 250. There's an underground ocean larger than all the surface oceans combined. Scientists discovered a massive water reservoir deep within Earth's mantle. 251. Gorillas can catch human colds and other illnesses. They are susceptible to many of the same viruses that affect humans. 252. The shortest commercial flight lasts only 57 seconds. It operates between the Scottish islands of Westray and Papa Westray, covering just 2.7 kilometers, 1.7 miles. 253. The heart of a shrimp is located in its head. Its organs are inside its head region, which is part of its thorax. 254. Jellyfish have survived 5 mass extinctions. They have existed for over 500 million years, long before dinosaurs. 255. A flea can accelerate faster than a space shuttle. When jumping, fleas experience acceleration forces of up to 100 times gravity. 256. There's a cave in Mexico filled with giant crystals. Cueva de los Cristales contains some of the largest known natural crystals, reaching over 12 meters, 39 feet in length. 257. The Amazon rainforest produces about 20% of the world's oxygen. It plays a crucial role in regulating the planet's climate. 258. Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system. Even though Mercury is closer to the Sun, Venus's thick atmosphere traps heat, making it hotter. 259. A chameleon's tongue moves faster than the human eye can follow. It can reach speeds of up to 97 kilometers per h, 60 miles per hour, when catching prey. 260. Some snails have hairy shells. The Trochaidae family of snails has shells covered in tiny bristles to help them camouflage and stay attached to surfaces. 261. A day on Mars is only about 40 minutes longer than a day on Earth. A Martian day, known as a sol, lasts approximately 24 hours and 37 minutes. 262. Water can boil and freeze at the same time. This rare phenomenon, called the triple point, happens when temperature and pressure are perfectly balanced. 263. A blue whale's heartbeat can be heard from over 3 kilometers, 2 miles away. Their massive hearts beat so powerfully that the sound travels long distances underwater. 264. There's an island within a lake, on an island, in a lake, on an island. This geographical oddity exists on Victoria Island in Canada. 265. Sloths can turn their heads almost 270 degrees. Unlike most mammals, sloths have extra vertebrae in their necks, allowing them to look almost completely behind themselves. 266. There's a hotel in Japan that has been operating for over 1,300 years. The Nishiyama Onsen Keiunkan has been run by the same family for 52 generations. 267. Cows have regional accents in their mooing. Studies suggest that cows from different areas make slightly different vocalizations based on their environment. 268. There's a gas cloud in space that smells like rum and tastes like raspberries. The Sagittarius. B2 cloud contains ethyl formate, the chemical responsible for both flavors. 269. Wolves use their eyes to communicate. A direct stare can be a sign of dominance, while looking away signals submission. 270. A rainbow can only appear in the morning or late afternoon. This is because the sun must be at an angle lower than 42 degrees in the sky for a rainbow to form. 271. Octopuses can squeeze through anything larger than their beak. Since they have no bones, they can fit through incredibly small openings. 272. The Eiffel Tower grows in summer. Due to heat expansion, the metal structure can increase in height by up to 15 centimeters, 6 inches. 273. There's a river in Peru that boils. The Shanai Timpishka River reaches temperatures hot enough to kill small animals that fall into it. 274. A newborn kangaroo is the size of a jelly bean. At birth, it is blind, hairless, and crawls into its mother's pouch to continue developing. 275. The first oranges weren't orange. The original oranges from Southeast Asia were green, and some varieties still are today. 276. A day on Neptune is only 16 hours long. Despite being one of the farthest planets from the Sun, Neptune has one of the shortest days in the solar system. 277. Your liver can regenerate even if 75% of it is removed. It is one of the few human organs capable of regrowing itself. 278. There's a floating post office in India. Located on Dal Lake in Kashmir, it serves both locals and tourists. 279. A shrimp's heart is in its head. It is located near its brain inside the thorax, which is covered by its exoskeleton. 280. There's a hotel made entirely of ice. Ice Hotel in Sweden is rebuilt every winter using ice blocks from the Torne River. 281. Giraffes only need about 30 minutes of sleep per day. They take short naps, often while standing, to stay alert for predators. 282. Jellyfish don't have a brain or heart. Instead, they rely on a simple nerve net to process information. 283. There's a mountain on Mars that is 3 times taller than Mount Everest. Olympus Mons is the tallest volcano in the solar system, standing at 22 kilometers, 13.6 miles, high, 284. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance. Their bright pink feathers and elegant movements make this name very fitting. 285. The world's largest snowflake was 38 centimeters, 15 inches wide. It was recorded in Montana, USA in 1887. 286. There's a species of fish that can change its gender. Clownfish can switch from male to female if necessary for reproduction. 287. Humans share about 98.7% of their DNA with chimpanzees. Despite this similarity, small genetic differences make a huge impact. 288. Wombats are the only known animals that produce cube-shaped poop. The unique shape prevents it from rolling away, helping them mark their territory. 289. The Earth's core spins at a different speed than the rest of the planet. Scientists believe it rotates slightly faster than the Earth's surface. 290. A hummingbird's heart beats up to 1,200 times per minute. Their high metabolism allows them to hover and fly rapidly. 291. The only letter that doesn't appear in any U.S. state name is Q. Every other letter of the alphabet is used at least once. 292. Venus has more volcanoes than any other planet in the solar system. Scientists estimate it has over 1,600 major volcanoes. 293. A group of porcupines is called a prickle, a fitting name for these spiky creatures. 294. Some turtles can breathe through their cloaca, rear end. This helps them stay underwater for long periods without surfacing. 295. There's a species of bacteria that can survive in outer space. Deinococcus radiodurans, often called Conon the bacterium, is incredibly resistant to radiation and extreme conditions. 296. A bolt of lightning is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. Lightning can reach temperatures of 30,000 degrees Celsius, 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit. 297. The average human sheds about 22 kilograms, 50 pounds of skin in their lifetime. Skin constantly regenerates with new cells replacing old ones. 298. The longest recorded flight of a chicken was 13 seconds. Despite their limited flying ability, some chickens can stay airborne for short bursts. 299. There's a lake in Antarctica that has been sealed under ice for 20 million years. Lake Vostok is hidden beneath 4 kilometers, 2.5 miles of ice, and may contain unknown life forms. 300. Horses and cows can sleep standing up, but they still need to lie down sometimes. They have a special locking mechanism in their legs that prevents them from falling over while resting. And that's a wrap. We've just gone through 300 fascinating and unknown facts. How many of them surprised you? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing content, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.